Once you have at least one system added to your job, you can start editing. There are a number of ways to do this, so I will start with the basics. Opening a system can be done by double-clicking on the system title in the Contents panel. Here, the groups have all been expanded, so the subgroups, sections and systems inside them are neatly arranged for access. The system opens in the editing window as a tab, and inside is the single System Outline clause. Every system begins with a single System Outline clause. It is an overview of the main considerations for a typical system of the type and is laid out in a series of bullet points or clause items, and each prompts the download and inclusion of other clauses which will help to define the system in terms of the products that make it up, the overall performance of the system, clauses dealing with installation and clauses dealing with the manuals and testing, etc., and also clauses dealing with facilities management. The idea is to start with the outline clause and use the prompts, but also add your own information and editorial choices, amend, add and delete the basic content to produce information about the job from which you can draw documentation for every stage of your project. The process for editing the system outline is additive, which means that you can add the specific clauses required for the system from the outline clause. The System Outline clause is the generator clause of a system, and while you make choices, the system grows and is specified in greater detail. I will now cover some of the basic ways of editing and describe when they are appropriate. You might notice that this clause item and the description item, but also the execution and completion clause items, have all got pale green backgrounds. This is to signify that these can either be shown or hidden in an exported or printed version of the content. There are also universal clause items that you can add in, including location, which allows you to tag a system with a space from your job details, and type, to show where there are more than one type of a system in a job. Beneath the description box, as already described in an earlier module, there is a clause item called System Performance. This System Performance line prompts the download of specific clauses that relate to how the entire system will perform. These clauses may be used broadly earlier in the spec writing process, and then later can be replaced in some cases by specific product clauses which would comply with these performance requirements. Always read the NBS guidance on the right-hand side in conjunction with your System Outline clause. Clicking in the box next to System Performance presents us with a value list. This value list offers a choice of basic options for clauses you may want to download for your job. Once downloaded, they can be linked again and again to other systems. You can look into the guidance and click on the links for the offered clauses, which will enable you to explore the clause content and guidance prior to selection. You can always change your mind and remove the clause later, and you can also add several versions of any of the clauses. There are other options in the value list, including cross-reference, which enables the linking of clauses already used in other systems, and also adding new user-created clauses. There is also an option for most clause items which enables you to add your own values to the list associated with any of the clauses and add your office information. This will then appear every time you use the clause on any job in the future. We will cover this in a later module. Several clauses can be selected from this drop-down list, and after clicking OK, the clauses will download and their titles will appear in the contents list. All the clause types are numbered in a different way depending on what they are used for. All clauses beginning with a number 1 are the System Outline clauses. Clauses starting with a number 2 and up to 299 are System Performance clauses, and they will be shown as a group in the editing window. The icon is a spotlight. There are now several system performance clauses downloaded, and a list of their clause titles shows up as a series of links in the box next to System Performance in the System Outline clause. Moving down the outline clause, other clause items prompt the user to choose Other Clauses, select Text, or Type Requirements. In this example, the clause item prompts the inclusion of specific product clauses or contractor's selection values, and more specifically, contractor's design or submit proposals. These may be used if you are allowed to assign responsibility of the selection of certain products to the contractor in your contract. This is covered in a later module in more detail. In this case, I have made a selection in the value list, and when I click OK, the clauses download and are shown in a new group called Products. If you change your mind about the clauses, you can go back to the drop-down list, choose to deselect the item already used in your job, or add another item as well as the one chosen. You can also select the same item more than once for repeating of types of product, etc. It automatically adds a type suffix to the clause, i.e. type A and type B, etc. It is also possible to change the name of a clause. When you make choices and download clauses relating to either execution of the system or execution of an individual product, all the execution clauses appear in a group below the group of product clauses. When you choose clauses relating to completion of a system, these clauses all go in a group below the execution clauses. Facilities management appear below that. So, the order from top to bottom is first, the System Outline clause, then the System Performance clauses, followed by the Product clauses, followed by the Execution clauses, followed by the Completion clauses, and then finally the Facilities Management clauses if available. There is an option in any job to utilise some functionality that will at first hide all the product clauses added. This is known in the software as the performance stage, and all the product clauses added are deactivated by default in that stage. It is a useful way to describe a system without naming products, and then when you want to move on to show all of the product clauses, you can switch to the full stage, which activates them all at once. Any clause that has pre-populated text in the inserts can still be edited. Clause items can be parked or deleted, and new clause items added. When you get to the bottom, there is a quick link to take you to the top again, or you can close up each group so you can access them one at a time.